Good, good.
Right. Sandy, so can you maybe introduce us to a little bit about what you do and how you can are helping current independent hotels at the moment?
Okay, so my name is Sandy. I've been working in hospital industry for almost 20 years. Not yet 20, but almost. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so old. Starting when I was a student, I was working in front desk, as many people starting like here from the bottom. And so he helps me as well to understand everything about like the hospitality business and every different departments and what is the struggle, what the challenges, all that kind of things. And then after like I moved to reservation, and then revenue management. And almost 10 years ago, I got offered an opportunity to come to Thailand and to take a role as like kind of a consultant for fast booking. Now it's called The Edge. So the another tech company who's helping hotels to drive their revenue, their direct revenue, with the booking engine and different other tools to help hotels in revenue management and in distribution. So my role at that time was like to help hotels to understand better revenue management uh, best practices. I help them like even like to do forecasting, budgeting, because it has to start from the beginning. You have to have like to have some foundation. And then we went through like different things about pricing, how to make sure as well, like when you also do your pricing for your wholesalers, bed banks, you don't like sell too low your rates, how to implement with them like B2C rates. So like this, you don't have all this disparity coming on the OTAs. So I was like explaining some like different trends and like what they should do to avoid all these kind of problems, because like by having disparity rates and having a lower rate on OTAs doesn't help them to get like direct booking, especially when I know some hotels are spending money on marketing, not that much money, but like still a bit of money, but still it's still bidding because you're spending something or you're doing like some AdWords campaigns, but still you're driving the traffic not to you, you're driving the traffic to an OTA because your pricing is not competitive with what offer like OTAs. So I would like this role like to help hotels understanding like different fundamentals and helping them like to sustain by themselves and to learn like about like these new things that probably when I arrived here in Asia 10 years ago was kind of new for them. When I was meeting my partners at the beginning, say, "Oh no, I cannot do that because Agoda will be not happy." I'm like, seriously? Agoda will not be going to be happy? I was like, who's owning the hotel? Is it Agoda or someone else? And they said, no, of course not Agoda. So I was like, so why do you give them like, and it was really strange. At that time, hotels in Thailand, they were giving lower pricing to Agoda. And they were not even able to give the same price to their own website. And I was very surprised. I was like, why do you sell yourself higher price? Or because like it's my own website. So I was like, yeah, your own website should sell cheaper. Oh no, I cannot do that. It will be you will cause me like some troubles. I was like, you know what, in France I've been doing that and I never had any problems. When the market manager came to me and said like, oh, I saw you have like this price price. Oh, that's my own website. This is my official website. And then they leave me alone. you know, it was like kind of this time you can still get rid of things. I know today's will be a little bit more difficult. So like we introduce like promo codes. There's promo codes. There's like things for members only. So you have always a way like to get use the same tools that OTAs are using. Actually, like don't do the genius, don't do these kind of things because like it will not going to help you. Actually, when you're starting to do the genius, they don't booking.com is not producing more. It's just cannibalization after all your bookings coming from the genius, not anymore like with the full rates. So actually you have been just cannibalizing yourself and you don't even realize that until like it's too late. The same thing with the override commission. You should not do that, apart like very for short period, but so many times, like even if you do for short period, you you've been in that kind of things, and then after you cannot get out of it because like if you be back at your normal commission, your ranking is going down so badly. So it's not very good. So I know like there's a lot of tools and OTAs are giving to the hotels. It's not always to help them. However, there's sometimes some tools like I remember Expedia was giving like a tool with like kind of a rate checker and like different things about like competitivity. And that was quite helpful actually for hotels because it's like a free tools you can have if you don't have any money uh, to invest in your own rate checker tools. It was also a good way like to have kind of an idea about how selling your competitors, the market. You could see as well the trend, and you can also look at the booking pace. I don't know if they're still giving this kind of information, but like in my time, they were giving a lot of information that could help hotels to understand better what the market is. I think booking pace is very important because it gives you like a good idea where are the other hotels. It's not based on past data, it's based on like present data. So it's very important, and especially nowadays after COVID, I think like many revenue management system also changed their algorithm. Before everything was based mainly on past data, historical data. Now the historical data is not as important as like the present data and understanding the pickup, the booking pace, how fast you're selling your room, what it means, the booking pace. And many times hotels don't even realize that. Sometimes not even like out the 90 days. You have to look as well for like longer periods, especially like for peak periods or periods that you have like there's events in your city, there's something happening. You could, if you don't look at them, you can sell everything very quickly, even like 180 days in advance or even a year in advance. I was working in Paris a long time ago, and Paris is very like very quick. And for some dates when there's like a big fair in Paris, the rooms are already booked like a year in advance. And there's also other markets are the kind of the things like in Singapore, they can have that kind of like uh, these behaviors. In Bangkok, starting to have it as well. When you have like there's too much demand for the number of hotel rooms sometimes in some days. So you have this compression. So that is a time like you have to think about it, like how you will price better your pricing. So you have to know as well what's going on. Concert can be a good things like we have been saying in Singapore, the demand has been like for demand for the flights, for the demand for the for hotels. I've been searching for like for concerts, and that's something quite new here. I knew these kind of things like back home, but now I see that as the same kind of behaviors here in Asia, which is amazing. Like when Taylor Swift was coming to Singapore, the price was going super high, like the demand was like surging. But I'm sure hotels they've been like swept away because they don't even know about it, and maybe they price high just in last minute. They didn't price high maybe like long term in advance, so they may have lose some revenue opportunities, but now they may have known about that because you learn as well with your mistakes and stuff like that. I would not say call mistakes. Sometimes it's just like you're learning with your experience, and you have to remember as well. So when I was a revenue manager, I was taking notes about like dates or periods that I didn't perform as well as I should have, because we didn't know, we didn't have like, and at that time we didn't have like the same tools than it is now. We don't have an RMS system, nothing. So sometimes it could have happened. There's like some events we didn't even mark it as like important, and then you found out like this event is very important because like you got like so many rooms had been sold, a little bit too cheap, I would say. So you know that for the next year, if it's happening, I know this year or in 2 years, some events is like every 2 years, and then you're like, okay, I will remember like, for example, I put these notes, and I do know like now I have to be careful for this time, for this period, that I should not sell too low or something like that. It's just like just for you to remember, because even like that was based on historical data, but like this pattern will be repeating anyway from 1 year to another year. So it will give you like a good indicator about what you have to do. So even on your data, you will see like, okay, that period was like super intense, but I've been selling a little bit short myself, and I should have like put my price a little bit higher, not like just in last minute. These kind of things. So yes, it was like my background is in revenue management, e-commerce, as well, like how to use better the content. There's a lot of things like in my time when we were revenue manager, it was just not about like doing the data and pricing. Many of us, we were doing much more than that. We were doing like all the e-commerce part and like kind of market, and also some kind of marketing. I was also like doing the social media because I was like already doing the content for the website, the content for all OTAs. So they let me as well like to create the content as well for our for marketing, like for social media. I know things have been very different nowadays. Everything's more in silo, but I think like as if you're a revenue manager, you have to understand as well some principle about digital marketing because it's very linked together. You have to work in hands with your the digital market team for the promotions and what you want to put. You know the pricing. They don't know probably the pricing that they need to put. You can also give them their input about like the days where we know that we need to increase the demand. How we can do that usually can be used also a lot with the marketing. We don't need to push too much the hotel during high season or peak periods, but during very low demand period is where you need to put like more marketing efforts. Because you need to fight against your competitors. You need to fight the competitors is like OTAs, but as well the other hotels like in your destination. But sometimes a destination, depending on the destination, it can be as well a competition between like compete with other destinations. So you have to make sure like your hotel is standing out within your destination, but sometimes even outside and beyond your destination. There's some destinations are very competitive to each other, and you have to understand that. You have also to understand how the factors of demand, what can influence the demand, and sometimes like there's like transportation going to your destination is very important. Many hotels don't look at that as these type of factors, but it is very important to look at it, looking at the price of the flights. That will give you as well like kind of like an ideas about like what's going on in your destination, especially if the price has been surging. There's probably something happening in that area. Maybe you don't receive yet the demand on at your hotel, because we know people buy their flight before hotels usually. So if you see like on some days like the price has been increasing, it's really good like to look at it as well, how's pricing your competitors, to check out as well like within your competitors, like you can like talk with them and like understanding what's going on, if they have like they got bookings or something like that. Some hotels, depending on the destinations, depending on the area, hoteliers are helping each others a lot. I don't mean like we are like selling like, okay, we have all two price at the same price, or not giving like lower than that, but like giving them to have like some understanding of the market, I would say. So it's very important as well to be friends with other revenue managers in hotels. When I was working in Paris, it was what we had like a network of like different revenue managers, and we're not going to help each other for the pricing, but because it will be collision. But like we were like talking about like the market trends, about different things, about what's going on in the city. So it was helping. So sometimes I got like a lot of pickup. I was asking like for some periods, and I didn't see like any events happening in the city. So I was asking, and it was not something repeated, because when I was looking at the data from the past, we never had like anything happen. So I even contacted like some other hoteliers, and I was asking, oh, did you see that? And many of us, we see like the same thing. But sometimes people don't want to talk about it. So I wanted like to see like if others have the same kind of trends, and that give you like kind of like information what's going on. But nobody knew like about this event. It was very funny because it was the first time this event's coming, and there was like not much some marketing, but it was professional events. And that's it was the first time it was like something going like in different countries, and that was like a huge event in Paris, like medical events, like something like that. And not every hotels were affected. It was only hotels near the convention center, or around the convention center. But like it was good to see like others who picked up as well the same trends, and like he helped me as well to figure out what the pricing. of course, if I was using at that time like a tool like OTA Insight, would have been very much easier. But we didn't have access to that type of thing. So it was like more like between ourselves, we have to compare. Yeah. Anyway, so after like we were working in revenue management and with different like different tech providers, now I work in AI. So it's something very new. I've been working as well for OTAs, and I've been saying that already when I was working for OTAs, I was like, oh my God, we have so many calls. The volume of calls is so important for different information, but usually it's like information about the hotel. People are quite confused sometimes. And we were seeing already at that time, like many years ago, people were contacting us more and more. So these volumes of calls and emails was increasing very fast. And it was even pre-COVID. So during COVID, it was even worse. And this behavior is still here, where people now they want to know more about the destination they're going, the hotel they're going, and they ask a lot of questions. Questions that can be very diverse. It can be depending on their preferences, but they as well depending on their situation. So someone can ask questions about like for the safety when they have a baby or little children, toddlers. They will ask a lot of questions about the safety in the hotel, about like different activities for the children, blah, blah, blah. So depending who you are, but more you are like a family person, I would say, more you have questions because like, especially young parents, they have a lot of questions regarding their kids and they want to make sure when they travel, their kids will be safe as well. So they have a lot of questions about that. So it was like the things. And at that time, I remember this OT I was working with, we also have like, the owner has also a VC company. And through the VC, they were asking me like the new trends. And I was like, always say like, oh, the AI chatbots will be the new thing that hotels will need it. So if we need to invest like on a tool or something, I think it will be the good one. Anything that is like contactless, that will be the rest. And now I work like fast forward like many years later. I work now 6 years later or something. I work like now for like an AI company where I help hotels to use to leverage AI and big data to drive more direct bookings through chatbots. So like conversation can be the new tools. So before we are talking about e-commerce, there's like these new things called like the c-commerce or chat commerce. This is not so new. It has been already like promoted a lot by Facebook many years ago. But like, I think like sometimes hotels didn't really put any efforts in these channels and these direct channels because you have like directly contact with the customers. You can engage with them. And Facebook already like say like many years ago like this is very the new trends. Google has been talking about like the age of assistance. And it's true, more and more people want to have assistance. I'm also part of different group on Facebook and for expat groups on Facebook, but as well on WhatsApp. People have always the same questions. They don't even make research themselves. They don't even understand like Google is still here around. And sometimes like you have always the same, they want like someone to take them by hands, given all the answers without doing the research. And that is what is about like a chatbot. And now we see like this ChatGPT, so many people using it for everything. They want to know something, they just ask ChatGPT. Before we were saying, oh, ask Google. Now it's like ask ChatGPT. I have one of my friends, she was telling me, oh, I didn't know that. So I checked on ChatGPT. I was like, well, make sure as well ChatGPT have the right information because you need to cross-check the information they give. They don't give you like a lot of information and you don't know from where is the source, which is a little bit sometimes different than Google. We will give you the source where it's from the information so you can cross-check the information. But with ChatGPT, sometimes you really need to cross-check the information. So for us, like where I work now, the information that we pulling out is not from the internet or something. This is the information that the hotel will upload themselves in our system. So like this, we make sure like the information provided to the customers are the right information and very precise. And it's not like some kind of like fake information because it can cause a lot of troubles for a business. If you say, for example, like someone has like, oh, can I cancel my booking? And if the chatbot reply, yes, free cancellation, at any time, it will cause a lot of problems for the hotel. They will lose a lot of money, but plus it will be a liability for hotels. I say about the cancellation because there were like a case with Air Canada recently where someone asking the chatbot to cancel the booking, and through the chatbot, the guy understood like, and it was what it was written, that he was a free cancellation and he can cancel at any time. Doesn't matter his rate. And the person went to the courts and he won, of course. So it is a real liability. And I think hotels don't understand that yet, that it is a liability. You have to make sure as well, like you have the right information. So the only way is to like to fill in questionnaires, I will say, like you do for OTAs. So that's why we are on our next plan is to use all these data to push as well these data in all OTAs. But right now we can push the data on Google and Facebook. Why these two channels? Because it's direct channels. So we wanted like to help hotels first on their direct channels before like to help them on OTAs. But like it's on the plan as well, because we know the volumes of like of emails, but as well for hotels in the sense like if you don't get like if the information across different channels are different, people will not trust your brand. They will be a little bit scared to book you, whatever is the channel. So it is important to have like all across channels, like the same content, the same information. It's like a parity across. So we were talking before about the rate parity. Now there's also this new thing. I think I read it in one of like his article, and they were talking about the content parity as well, and it's really a new thing.
That's great.
What I can talk about myself? I think I've been talking about everything.
No, that's wonderful. I can totally see that your background as a revenue manager was very diverse. Not only
Yes.
not only discussing about the trends in pricing and the factors of demand, but also a little bit of marketing because those two are pretty linked together, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
there are,
that's great.
and it was already linked 10 years ago, and it's even more deeply linked today. I think in many companies, still in many hotels, the revenue manager or the revenue director doesn't have like a role that the central role inside the commercial. In the commercial, they don't put him like so much like in uh, for me, it's supposed to be the head of the commercial, because that person has the access to all the data in the company and can really help as well the sales team, can help the marketing team to figure out what's going on. Not everyone is like so well versed in data as well. I found out like most of revenue managers are very good for understanding trends, but they also like uh, things that could happen in the future or something like that. I'm not saying we are doing premonitions, but like we kind of have like a better understanding about what the customer wants, because we are always in the data.
Yeah.
And by spending like so much time with data, you transpire as well like all you understand very well the behaviors of the
You
people.
can forecast demand,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can focus the event, but it's not only that. Like you can forecast as well what will be the next thing as well for hotels. And in technology, usually like the revenue manager are the ones like putting their hands into like all these tech things. We were the ones parameting the PMS, the booking engine. So we're quite well versed like as well in technology, and to see like what will be the next technology to have in hotels. I'm not the smartest person, and if myself, I could already see like 6-7 years ago, like a chatbot was something like the hotels will need. I'm sure there's other people have been saying that, and I still don't understand why not so many hotels are jumping in the train. I feel like they always like, oh, wait and see. And I hate these behaviors of wait and see. As like, if you don't try, you don't know what's going on. And many people are like so they fear to be successful, not fear of failure. It's fear to be successful. And in hotels, it happens a lot. When I was revenue director, but as well like consultant in revenue management, I've seen many GMs because I always talk with GMs most of the time. They were feared to be successful. Actually, they fear to be fully booked
They
and
fear
to
to
have
try
their
something
rate
new.
increase.
They fear to adapt a new technology.
But not only, it's only even like for they fear as well to be full or something like that. Because when I was working for Agoda, I was creating this new revenue management system for Agoda, and I have some of the hotels that I was like experimenting with. They drop out on the program not because it was not successful. They drop out because it was too successful for them. And they told me I never had so much guests staying in my hotel. The hotel is like fully booked all the time. We cannot manage that.
Yeah.
And their price was even like the ADR was even higher than than before they joined the program. So it was not like, oh, okay, I drop all the pricing and that's why the hotel. No, I knew how to use different tools to make the hotel standing out as well in the competition landscape. So the hotel was like much more interesting for other customers. It's not only about like pricing, you have also to have the right image about your hotel to stand out, because it's the first thing people will see as well about your hotel in an OTA. It's your pictures, and if you have a crappy pictures, you're not going to attract anybody. Content is as I say, like there's more than just the pricing. Pricing is one of the factor, but there's much more than that that is influencing the people to book your hotel. Especially when different hotels are pricing quite similarly in the same areas. What will be the factor make them to book your hotel? It will be your photos and as well the reviews score you're having. And many people will pay more to a better hotel. So like in the same range of hotel, people don't care to pay like few bucks more to get a better experiences, even for budget hotels.
Yeah, that's great. So when you mentioned, would you think for any hotel, and would you think the most important thing for them to get right would be the pricing first in terms of like optimizing their revenue?
There's different things are I think you need to audit as well. There's always like pricing. It can be a one thing, but you have to understand why people don't book your hotel. So you have to look as well at your conversion rates. So you have to understand that. You have to understand why they don't book you, why they book someone else. It's probably sometimes your pricing is great. I've seen hotels where the pricing was not was well, they didn't have dynamic pricing, but like the other hotels as well in that area was not having dynamic pricing. So, but they didn't. They were like fall short compared to the others. And in that area, every hotels was selling kind of very similar pricing and all flat rate. So it was not the prime, it was not the flat rate. It was also like the image you are projecting yourself of your hotel. So that's why I saw like content and all that things. Content is still king in that world. So that's why I was like, it's not only about pricing. If an hotel have like private pictures and it looks really bad, even the pricing is great, it probably not going to sell a lot online either. So it's a combination of different things. So you have to understand why you're not performing as good as the market, why you're like underperforming. But sometimes as well, like as I say, it can be as simple as that. But pricing will be something like I will look at as well. Usually, when I was taking over hotels, when I was consultant, I have my consulting company. The first thing I was looking at it was like, yes, how they were selling themselves, your pricing. Look at the trends. If like weekends or in weekdays, occupancy rate, understanding what are the people going to that destination. Is it like a business oriented destination, or is like leisure oriented destination, or maybe both, depending on the destination? Look at the different seasonality, understand like the demand, the different demand factors about this destination. So you have like a lot of things to look at before to touch the pricing. You're not going to touch the pricing if you don't know the destination. You need to look at the data first. The data will be the first thing you have to audit the hotel and the destinations, the markets, look at the trends, understanding as well like where is this hotel compared to others, starting to look at the competitivity, like who are the competitors of his hotel, who are the truly competitors of the hotel. Because if you ask the owner or the hotel manager or GM, the person who's like managing, probably have like an outdated concept, which I see like with many of like hotels I was taking care in the past with my clients. They have like the wrong ideas about who are their truly competitors in their market, and sometimes they were like putting competitors were like sometimes they were short selling, they were selling them short, or otherwise they think like their competitors was like something has nothing to do with their hotel. So it was not like even they were not competing for the same type of customers at all. So you have really to understand who you are and who are your customers, and you have to look at hotels who are competing for the same customers than you are.
Yeah.
That's your
So
competitors.
really taking like a view on the market and having
You need to take a
gathering
view, yeah,
data
on the
and
market.
having an understanding of where the hotel is at in terms of competition. And once you have
Yes.
enough data, you can start making informed decisions, right?
Exactly. And pricing is like one of the things like that you do with uh you do only because you have the data. And I think some people they say and I was like as I was asking that when I take over sometimes even when I work in a as an employee in a hotel, and like I say like, so how did you price? And like you just like do like that and do the pricing by just like looking where it's coming the wind, because the GM was like not having like understanding about revenue management. And at the beginning, it's like, no, I don't want revenue management, blah, blah, blah. I said like, yeah, I've been hired by the owner for that, like to implement like a revenue management culture inside the company and instill a little bit different departments in revenue management. So like as well for the reception and reservation team. It's not only something like only the revenue manager has to look at. I think it's everyone in the company has to be quite involved in the revenue management, because in reception, for example, they will be the ones who do like drive as well upselling. Upselling is one of the tools that we use in revenue management as well to increase revenue. So you have also like to train people at the reception to be seller, to sell the hotel, not only just do like check-in. It's not like what we're asking them. It's like to sell other services at the hotel, try to upsell the customers to another type of room. And it's not like for the sake of selling, it's to give the customers a better experience in the hotel. So when people are like passionate and they really like the hotel and they understand the product they're selling, it's much easier for them like to sell and to upsell. So it's like something like the revenue manager is not here just like to look at data and making reports. I still hear from and it's not even like read the reports, I would say. Still hear from hotel manager or general manager, oh yes, I have a revenue manager is here to do my reports. And I'm like, that's not the role of a revenue manager. It's not making reports. You have tool now today that can automate these reports most of the time. Oh yeah, but he's making me like my competitive reports and stuff like that. But who's taking decisions? It's still not the revenue manager at the hotel. In many places, it's still the GM taking decision who has no fucking idea. Sorry for my French, but who
No.
has not had no ideas about revenue management, nothing. And they don't do any, they think dynamic pricing will be just like putting two rates. Oh, I have fees rate for the weekends and fees rate for the weekdays. And I have like different rates for different seasons. I'm like, that's not revenue management. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I drop my price like when there's no people. I'm like, yeah, it's not revenue management. Dropping price is not revenue management. you know
Yeah.
so decisions are taking like ethically, not like with any sense of like understanding, and they take decisions like just last minute, so it's reactive and it's not proactive. Revenue management is about proactivity, not about reactivity. It can happen time to time that we are reactive based on some condition of the market. So suddenly you have like a big groups who was supposed to come to your hotel and they cancel last minute. You have to fill in the rooms that has been canceled last minute, because you take this big group for mice, and then last minute they cancel. Of course, you may most of the time you get some money, there's some guaranteed and stuff like that they pay, but you still want to sell these rooms that are left over, because the ideas in hotels is not having like rooms maximize your occupancy, maximize your revenue. So you're going to sell them, and like at that time, you're going to be like in reactive mode, like to resell these rooms. But as well, you have also like some marketing reactivity can be done. You have to speak with the marketing team. You have to speak also to the sales team. So like, for example, the sales team can reactivate some that tour operators to sell his rooms, or calling like someone like, they may look for rooms to sell. This is what I was doing when I was in my past life, when I was in reservation. It happens we have like cancellations in last minute, and I was contacting like all my contacts in incentive, like they were doing like driving mice and different groups. So sometimes I was like calling them. I say, oh, do you have like a group like in last minute or something? And they have sometimes demand in last minute. And if you call them instead to wait for the business to come, is another story. So like most of the time, I know in people in reservation team, they will never be like in outgoing. They will just waiting for the calls. Sometimes you also have to go there and asking for the business, as a salesperson will do, and you have to talk. So the revenue manager can talk with different departments, and they can have like synchronize their strategy as well. It can be like different things can happen in your destination. It can be some rules have been changed in terms of visa, or different things could happen, could affect as well and impact your forecast. So you have to be also like looking at all this data, if it's changing something or not. So it can be positive or negative impact, especially for visa rules. Many times it's like if when they the visa, they give like more visa, more they open more the country is better in terms, but when they're starting to put like restrictions, it can be as well like a bad signal, so people not coming to your destination. So there's a lot of things like revenue manager have to look at. They have to read a lot of news about their destinations to understand the market. A lot of things can affect many. So for example, if you're in Bali, you have sometimes volcano eruptions. That has an impact in your forecast, because you were supposing to have customers, but sometimes the airport is closed down because of the volcano eruption. So that you're not going to have these customers who come into your hotel anymore, but you're going to have people who will be also stranded on the islands. So you have also to manage that. Many years ago, I was in Paris, and we have this massive volcano from erupts in Iceland, and it has been put down all the flights in Europe, in major cities. Paris was also impacted, and yes, we had a lot of cancellation, but at the same time, many people also stayed longer time. So we had as well an opportunity to get all these stranded people to stay in a hotel. So yeah, there's like a lot of things I think like when you're a revenue manager, you have to look at, and not just is your data points, but also understanding the market and the destination. And that will help you to take like better decision on your pricing.
Yes. So what do you think independent hotels are struggling with the most at the moment? What are their biggest problems?
Data.
It's definitely data, right? They don't have the enough
Exactly.
understanding.
They don't understand the data. They don't know how to look at the data. They don't know where to look for the data. They probably like look for too many data. Sometimes it's also making some noise. So if you don't look for the right data, actually it will make creating more noise than anything else. So be simple, go to the basic first, look at very simple things, and then you can add it up like more complexity into your revenue management. At the beginning, just like be simple and just like create a demand calendar, look at your data, like the patterns from last year. I don't say like, when I say patterns, it's like the cycles, how it's doing the business. So understanding like when is your weekdays, when is your the strength days, and where you could like put your price a little bit higher. So the days that like you look as well at your average daily rate on all these days. It's true for many hotels who has been always selling the flat rate. It'd be very difficult for them to have like a kind of understanding what will be the best rate. But usually we say like the rates from last year, you can use it as like the base rate, your bar rate, and then you increase from that. But you normally you still see like different rates based on the different business you have, because not every business is maybe online. There's maybe as well like some offline and some bookings that has been made as well, like directly, or the walk-ins. So there's like different things. You have also to understand as well, like the drivers of the business. So in some areas, you can also like do partnership also with corporates around your hotel. There's always something can happen in your hotel, in your city. There's always like governments still need to take rooms. The corporates also need rooms. Even if it's a small company, they may have like some customers coming to their factory, or like to have like engineers or something. So they may have need other rooms. There's maybe like some medical conference or convention coming down in your city. Doesn't matter the size of the city, there's always something happening. Or like agriculture, trade show or something. There's always something happening. Doesn't matter the size of the city, can happen in your destination, and you have to understand that kind of things, because that can also help you to get like more a diverse mix of markets. It's also important, the market mix. Don't put all your, is if you invest, you don't put all your money in one investment. Usually you try to diversify in case like one of them is not coming. So it's what happened as well. Like here, I know really well Thailand market, for example. Thailand was like putting everything like on the Chinese market. Well, until they don't come. What's happening? If you don't know how to get like domestic market, how are you going to target them when something happened like COVID? You have to diversify everything. You have to understand like the different markets, not only looking at, you have like maybe a key feeder market, but not just like create as only one market. Look at different geo targets, but as well, not only geographically, it's also like a mix of like business, corporate, leisure, because different things can affect them. Even in a very leisurely destination, you still have corporates coming.
Right. And
yeah, there's always other things.
yeah, of
And
course.
even the independent hotels, they may not have a meeting room, but they have a place where the people take breakfast. You can transform this breakfast room into a meeting place if it's needed. And you know how many people can fit there. So if you have like any demand happen, or your restaurant, and you have like a small group of like entrepreneurs, or like some people wants to meet up, you can take them as well, like to stay, to use this space and to sell them. Or you have also your rooms can be used as like interview rooms for interviews. So there's like different ways you can market your hotel.
Yeah,
there's a lot of you can do.
yeah,
Actually,
that's
more than what you said first.
yeah. So would you say, when you say like a lot of hotels, they're not implementing dynamic pricing really correctly, what do you say would be a good way to start implementing dynamic pricing the right way? Would it be looking first be establishing a demand calendar to establish the high and the low days, and then going from there
That
to
will be already like something. Of course, it is that you have to understand like the demand factors and the demand calendars. Without that, you don't go anywhere. So it's the first thing, one of the first thing you have to do. Look as well your competitors, what they're pricing like, and look as well as like what's doing as well chain hotels in your destination. Because like looking at just independent hotels, maybe it's not going to help you, but like looking at as well like chain hotels, maybe it will give you like a little bit more information, because these guys are using as well tools that you don't have access, probably on RMS, and these RMS will give you like some they will give you like some information about what's going on in the market,
yes.
some indicators. Myself, when I was working for independent hotels, I was like working as an employee. I also look at what's doing Accor, for example, because I was in France. So like Accor was like the main chain hotels, and it was like giving me like good indicators as well. Even they were not my competitors at all, but it gave me like an indicator what they were doing. They had like an RMS system, so we didn't have the budget for it. So I didn't have it, but I could use what they were doing sometimes, like giving me like some informations like, oh, okay, so they have been, it's not only like, look, it's, and I was building as well, like my own things, like if they're going up or down on their pricing. So it gives me like as well, like it's not like only one day I look and that's it. You have to look over time as well, like maybe every 7 days. To look at what they're pricing like. Did they increase or decrease the rates for the next 30 days? So you can start 30 days, 60, 90 days. So it can help you out because like it's difficult from the beginning to do like 365 days. It's not possible from the first time, but like over time you can look for the 365 days. Of course, your demand calendar has to be for the next 365 days. But then after for the competitor pricing, the watch, you have to look at it. But I think there's tools today that are not too expensive, and even like an independent hotels can access to it.
Yep, definitely. That's really interesting to be able to look because chain hotels they're always implementing a dynamic pricing for themselves, right? So
Exactly.
you can gain a lot of insights by looking at chain hotels.
Exactly. So look at what is already there. Look at well as like OTAs because probably like Agoda or Booking.com or these kind of guys, they also like changing your pricing and they also have like different ways to do dynamic pricing as well on your behalf. So sometimes you also have to look where it is. They also give you like a lot of data reports. Look at them. It's free. And use them for what they are. Don't They're not your enemy per se. They're like in the market. They're here to stay. They're not going to go anywhere else. So
Yes.
use as much as tools that you can get. If the market manager can give you like some insight in the market, take it. Ask them questions as well. Don't just wait for them to come to you. Ask them as well questions. When you see something happening in your market, you can always call your market manager, be a friend with them, and try to get like as much as insight as possible. They will give you most of them. They will give you depending on it's true on the OTA. In my experience, Expedia was giving more, but it depends on the market. Here, they're not really giving a lot of information, but Booking.com will give you more information um, about what's going on, the trends, and it's okay. Yeah, it's not like about like actually by the fact that you'll be curious and stuff like that. It's much more interesting in your job. You have to be curious. I would say like the first thing for a revenue measure is to be curious.
Yeah, that is definitely a good trait to have. I've also heard from a couple of hoteliers I know in the network that they have usually complained about how their cancellation rates are so high. So, do you have maybe any practical tips to help hotels reduce their cancellations from the guests?
That is a good thing. You have to understand why they cancel first. Which so look at the different things like which channels are they canceling? Is it like there's one channel that you can attribute more of his cancellation rate? If you look at your direct bookings, usually you see like less cancellation rates in last minute. Booking.com has a lot of cancellation rates, but you have to understand what they're canceling. Is it because of your pricing practice? I know many hotels have the tendency as well to decrease the rates in the last minutes, and that will be prompting people who have like non-fence rate to cancel last minute and book somewhere else, book you back or book someone else. Um, that's one of the thing. There's like I know like Booking.com is removing the non-refundable rates, so that was one of the tools that we were using in revenue management, actually, the non-rave
Yeah.
for people who were like kind of sensible for the pricing, but at the same time, it was also a good way for you because it's a fence rate, right? It's non-refundable. So it means like the people have to prepaid for their reservation. So okay, you get a discount, but you need to prepay first. It's same as the flights. It's non-refundable rates were quite a good tools that we were using for a long time. Now that Booking.com is removing these kind of rates, it will be harder. Like we are going to see more and more like cancellation, especially on Booking.com. I don't know if Booking.com still have like some like That's the thing as well. These OTAs are playing games against us, hoteliers. They're telling us when the hotels are selling cheaper rates. So, or when the price is like going down, and give you like even like sometimes the name of the competitors get selling even lower than yourself. So they're not really helping us sometimes, like for our dive bookings and for these kind of things. For them, it doesn't matter because like the customers stay with them, even they have sometimes constellation. It's still fine because they still have the customers stay with them. For us, hotels is really different. Um, but we need to educate the customers. So like having an adverse purchase rate, make sure as well you don't decrease your rate all the time last minute because by fear you're like, oh, I still have few rooms available, I will just decrease my rate. That is really nonsense because it also doesn't help the customers. It doesn't like educate the customers in the right way. We are educating the customers to book last minute or to cancel every time their rooms. And I can see that. I have many friends that tell me like, oh, I book in advance my hotel, but if I see like the price is going down, I'm going to cancel and rebook. So yeah, people starting to
Yeah.
know that. They know like hotels are like taking these decisions like kind of like nonsense decision actually. So we have been really badly educating our customers so that we deserving what we are getting now. I would say when you plant the seed, sometimes you're getting you're getting what the fruits later, and that fruits sometimes they are like a bit poison. So I
That's
don't
great.
have an answer. I don't have like a straight answers. Especially when I read this news from Booking.com yesterday, I'm like, that's maybe not a really good thing for hotels.
Yes.
It's not going to help us for the revenue manager and how to decrease fee cancellation. As well, you have another things like you can, depending on as well where you are, there's also like fees restriction. And at the same time, I would say be as much more flexible as you can because like COVID has been putting as well, people wants to have more and more flexibility and myself is the same. I look as well as hotel, I usually book now like free cancel rates because we never know what can happen. And I think that's why Booking.com is removing fees non-refundable because they see the trends on people, they want to have free cancellation.
Yeah.
Uh,
It wants to be more flexible.
Flexible.
Yeah.
And flexibility is a key trend that has been emerged. It was really like starting to come before COVID, but COVID has been like accelerating this trend. Actually, like a lot of trends were already existing pre-COVID. We didn't measure them before or didn't have indicators much, but many of us who have been working in the industry for a long time, we see some indicators who was telling us like early adopters already of these trends. And COVID has been accelerating the trends. So things could have happened like in 10 years. It happens now.
Yeah. Definitely.
early than it was
It's
supposed to have
yeah.
happened.
It's also so for a little bit more about on what you're currently doing right now, which is using Quicktext AI
AI,
customer
yeah.
support, right? So in terms of direct bookings, would you definitely say that the reason why customers choose to book direct is because there's a lot more information about the hotel, and that is really benefiting to use AI and help hotels to increase their direct bookings because it's better able to answer the questions of customers, right?
Yes, yes. And I think like that also like one of these trends also emerged or like have been like through COVID time when people when they booked through an OTA they couldn't get like any answers. They had also a hard time to do the cancellation or get vouchers. But if you were booking direct with the hotel, you had this direct connection with the hotel and engagement. And many times hotels, if you were booking with them and you couldn't come because of the COVID, they were able to give you a voucher to use a later stage. So sometimes they were giving like for 1 year, but then you still couldn't come because of the pandemic. So they were extending the voucher for longer periods. As same like the trains of to book direct a flight For myself, I don't book my flights anymore through an OTA because you're not going to be refunded. But if you were booking through an airlines directly, maybe they were not refunding you the money, but they give you as well at least a voucher, the same value of your booking. So you can use it over time for the same travel, or you could use it for at different periods and during different flights domestically or regionally. So that was like a good thing to book direct. For hotels, it's the same thing because you got like exclusivity. You have like many hotels actually today, even independent hotels give like benefits for the ones who book direct. It's not only about rates. It can be just like an added value. You get like maybe a 30 minutes massage for free, early check-in, late checkout. You have some recognition as well from the staff. You have some hotels give you as well like a free upsell to a better room by booking direct. So of course, depending on the availability. But you have this closeness as well with the people. If you need anything, like it's easier like to book as well. Like if the hotel is not on a small island or something, they will help you to book your transfer to go to the hotel. But if you were booking through an OTA, it will take them longer time to respond to you, or maybe not even respond to you. So, but as well for you, most of the customers, when they go to an OTA, they always go to the website of the hotel and they try to find more information. If they don't find the information they're looking for, they might not book you.
Yes.
And even if the information they maybe book as well on the OTA website, they still have a lot of people like we know the conversion rate is about 1% for an hotel, 1 to 2% on their website. Through a chatbot, the conversion is going from 1 to 2% from 5 to 10%, depending on the hotel. There's some hotels is still very low, the conversion rates.
Yes.
Can be different things. We see as well like very expensive hotel, luxury hotels. Sometimes the conversion rate is not very high compared to other type of hotels, but it's also depending on your rates. And if your prices are not competitive, it's not going to help.
Yes,
For
definitely.
sure.
It's
Definitely.
about
So
having
we're going back to the pricing at some point,
yeah.
but conversion rate is very low for hotels.
Yeah.
And chatbot is also helping you to get a higher conversion rate. But it's like you have to make sure as well the chatbot you're using, it will give you qualified leads. Not every company will give you the leads. So you're going to have these tons of conversation happening on the chatbot on different channels, not only on the website, because you have also people who will converse with you through Facebook Messenger, through WhatsApp, through different channels that is available from your hotel. And you have these people who try to make a booking but didn't finalize the booking.
Yeah.
And you have like a chance if the solution you're using give you the leads, you have a chance to book them directly by calling them or email them, re-engaging with them. But I think like my company is the only one giving that. Actually, the only companies giving them visibility is my company. The other companies keep them they don't give at all the data. So you don't know someone tried to make the booking. You just know you don't even know the ones that have been making the booking for the chatbots. Because they don't even have like a way to try that done.
Not
So
it's
you have
not
no
it's not
idea
able to
about no. So they will give you probably some I've seen they're giving like data, but it's like where they're coming from this data. They don't even have like they don't get the names of the customer, email address of the customer. They don't have a tracking on their things. So how do they know how much they'll be converting? It's all fake data. They also will be giving you information like an AI knows like he has been giving the right information. No, the AI has no fucking idea. Sorry, my French again, but like an AI has no consciousness and doesn't know when he's wrong or is right.
Yes.
So it has not a correctiveness or something. It doesn't have like anything. Apart, if you build another AI on top of the AI, we will be like here to make sure the AI has given providing the right information. In that case, you need to build up a new system. This is what we're building in Quicktext. We are building another AI to make sure the AI understand. As well, we're building an AI to look at if the customer the happiness or something like that, the feelings of the customer, the sentiment. So is the customer is happy or not? So this kind of thing. So like that's another AI will be giving this information. It's like on the top of like Velma, which is like the virtual assistant. They will have other AI will be here, not like a human. So humans are more versatile,
Yes.
and until now, like AI, you know, the AI is here just to augment the people. We're here like to automate as much as possible tasks, but it's not replacing humans actually. So probably hotels will need to hire more like people to look at data, so like data analysts and these kind of things. Don't think like you don't need to hire anybody. You will have to form or train people to be more data analysts or to hire data analysts more and more because you need to have like people to look at this data and take actions. For independent hotels, they will be not able to probably to hire, but you have to trust as well your vendors. There's vendors like Quicktext. We also have like account managers who are here to help you. You have also like a customer success team who's here also to give you like a little bit more insights. We have trainings, webinars, who we're here to help you to understand better the data. And as well, yeah, you can ask questions to your account managers about the data that you're getting for getting more insights, or even the salesperson working at Quicktext to help you to figure out a little bit more. We're here to help and to understand all these kind of like indicators to sell better your hotel, to leverage the data you're learning to create new packages, experience as well for your customers. Many hotels, I think they don't sell many packages, but like packages are quite a great way as well to sell your hotel. That is also a differentiator compare you and the OTAs. On OTAs, usually you don't see that. For my part, on my experience, when I was starting to implement as well packages for some hotels I was working with, even for some of my customers, we see like a bit, well, of course, we increase the revenue for the hotel, but we also increase the length of stay. So people, when they stay longer, it's better because you reduce your cost as well in terms of housekeeping. So there's a lot of benefits of that. People stay longer as well. They will spend more money as well at your hotel. They will probably have a dinner at your hotel.
Yes.
If they have family, if they have kids will consume for sure. They want to have pizza. They want to have ice cream. People who have like young kids stay most of the time more time inside the hotel. They don't go so much like away for the full day or something like that on and discovering the destination, because with young kids it's a little bit harder to travel like around, and you have to respect their time for snap and blah blah.
Well, thank you so much for joining the call with me today. That was very insightful. There are a lot of great tips about how hotels can leverage data to optimize their hotel, a lot of great tips for independent hotels to kind of move forward and compete with others in the market, as well as with other big hotels as well. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining the call with me today.
Danielle.
That was really
Yeah,
helpful.
thank you so much for your interview. I was not expecting to have an interview today. I didn't prepare anything, so it was just like coming.
No, no worries. That was perfect. That was awesome.
This point, I was thinking,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I could have think if I was like preparing, but yeah, there's still a lot of things I think like hotels can do. There's things very basic, and for sure, it's always back to the basic. Go back to your basic, creating your things, look at the data, understanding what's going on in the market. There's things as well from the sales. Look at your primary zone if you want to target as well some companies and stuff like that. There's much more than what people think. Here in Thailand, I know they never target like international school, for example. but it's also a way like to get
Yeah.
customers, and especially during low season, you have like more things to sell. Even if you're an independent hotels, you have probably things that you can sell that you didn't even think you can sell. You maybe have a pool. Why not do like a day pass, especially during low demand periods when the hotel is not fully booked? It's not going to take away like your business. Or I understand during high season you can't do that, but during low season is the right time to do these kind of things.
Yeah.
To I try people to come to your hotel, to consume to the F&B outlets. It's all about like, it's not only about room improvement, it's also the total revenue management. So many revenue managers forgot there's not only the rooms, there's also other outlets where you can benefit. And even if your hotel doesn't have all that kind of things, services, you can always do partnership with other businesses around your hotel.
Yeah. Definitely. That was very insightful. Thank you,
Thank you
Sandy,
very
for
much,
coming to the call
Daniel.
today. I hope you have a
Yes,
great day. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
you too.